Hello, my friends. Welcome to another live stream. I'm Rachel Archelaus. It is my birthday today. This is Carrie Roldan, and it is her birthday next Tuesday. So we are soaking up Aries season, and we wanted to bring you the best of Aries today because we are bold, we are action takers, we are catalysts, and I love being in this energy. And I was speaking to my mom earlier, and she said there's a full moon tonight. So we just got it going on in all directions. And today's going to be more chatty than usual. We're going to be celebrating you, hopefully re-sparking some of your ideas. So feel free to just stream of consciousness us in the chat. We want to know what is going on for you, how you're feeling. Do you feel like you're coming alive now that it's spring? So yeah, we're going to chat and hopefully chat with you too. And thanks for being here.
Well, Rachel, thanks for being here on your birthday. I was wondering if we were going to have a live stream today because, you're pretty good at celebrating yourself and giving yourself time to do whatever the heck you want. So the fact that whatever the heck you want includes us on your birthday feels pretty special. And you know what? I just feel like you're coming on an adventure with me because when you were saying, like, are you feeling the springtime energy? I don't know if I'm going to screw up the lighting. I just want you to take a look out here. It is springtime. I have a sunny day. Can I show you the sky? Sky doesn't look that blue, but it feels very springtime energy here in my backyard. It is like the first warm, sunny day we've had in Southern California in forever. I feel like it's been raining and cold for months and months and months. So I am definitely feeling it. Definitely feeling the shift, feeling more alive, I love Aries season, even though I don't really know much about it, right? I just know it feels so good this time of year. And I don't know if it was because I was born this time of year or just because this time of year rules. But it always feels like a cleansing, like this clean, fresh newness that comes with springtime. And is boldness the right word? There's just a little bit, for me, it probably doesn't feel quite like bold. It just feels like safe enough to take action.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. Bold means, obviously every word means something different to each person, but I think for me, that idea of boldness comes from, it's nothing different in me. It's just a lack of self-consciousness. Like you're saying, it's a safety to just be yourself because we are all bold in our own way, right? The reason why we hesitate is not because of us necessarily. It's because we're holding on to all these things that aren't us.
Yeah. So I feel good about not holding on to things that aren't me. Yeah. So I don't know, Rachel, where do you want to go? You got me feeling all good in the springtime energy. Now I'm like,
yay. All right. Well, I mean, I like to just share where I'm at, right? I'm pretty big on that. And I for maybe 2 years now have been like, okay, I want to go back to school. My friends have heard about all these schools that I found, all these programs I'm excited about. And I've always wanted to go back. Even when I was a little kid, I just kind of figured I would have a advanced degree or something. But and I have been excited about programs, but this morning I had this realization that I can do what I want without a degree. And I may still go back at some point, but I think for right now, all of the things I've been excited about are a no for a certain reason or another. And that doesn't need to stop me from doing what I want to do, because I did get into the trap of being like, if I learn this and get this degree, I will be taken more seriously on this topic. But that is a limiting belief. And even though I like school and I want to learn these things and I want to learn these things from people who do these things for a living, like that's a valid reason to go back to school. It doesn't have to be right now, because obviously I'm a no for various reasons to all these things. I'm going to stop looking. I'm going to stop pushing and just do what I want to do because I know what I want to do. So that was exciting and liberating. Also, you might not know if you've only known me for a little while, everybody, but for most of my life, I've had a weird color hair, purple, green, blue, pink, all kinds of things, mostly green. And I bought some green hair dye, actually like 4 colors of green hair dye in December, and I never did it. And I was almost to it. It's on my counter right now. And I was like picking out the color that I want to mix up last night, but hesitating a little bit, which was like, why am I hesitating? And then last night I had a dream that my hair was the exact color that I wanted it to be. And when I woke up, I was like, oh, I got it. Like, I don't really want to dye my hair anymore. I really love my blonde hair right now. So, and plus I have a green wig. Like, it's not the end of the world. And so I was like, yeah, I have my fill. I'm great. I'm perfect right as I am right now. And like, it's just such a cool feeling to work on things multidimensionally. But also just to come into the realization of like, I have everything I need right here. I don't need to change a darn thing in order to ... That's a good Aries season lesson.
I am so happy to hear you say all of this. And I know Jane is saying happy birthday. And Jane and I were just in conversation where she and I were talking about this very thing that you're talking about, this idea of like, when you want something, like for you wanting, I know I'm going back to school. I know I have a picture in my head of me being someone who has this advanced degree. I love school. I love like all of it, right? I just think it's so important to know the truth of that and honor where you are. Like letting both, wherever you're saying like, I'm, for whatever reason, I'm a no to a lot of the things that are happening around school right now. And it's on my list of manifestations, right? Like it's on my list of things that are going to happen in my life. So it will. In the meantime, I'm going to go on doing the other things that I love, the other things on my list that I feel like moving toward right now. As someone who's lived a little bit of life and as someone who's allowed some dreams of mine to come true, man, that's the way to do it. It's not the way I've done it. but I had a moment, I mean, not the way I've done it, like it is the way I've done it, but I tried to do it the hard way for sure. I had a moment in October where I remember I was standing in front of a room full of women. I was leading them through an exercise. I was talking to them about something. Oh, it was a future self exercise. And I remember like being in that moment and having like a holy fuck, like I remember envisioning me. Like I remember this moment that I'm feeling right now. Like it's not like I got to that moment and was like, today's the day. I'm like, it was one of those beautiful moments where I realized like, oh shit, I'm here. Like here I am. I'm in my future. And I didn't get here in any of the ways that I thought I was going to get here, but here I am. And anyways, that's what will happen with school, right? Is it'll be even better than you could have imagined. And I can't help but thinking, Rachel, can't help but think of the like so many people who wind up doing amazing things in the world and then years later getting like honorary degrees for it. Like, because they were a pioneer or like they created something, they did something amazing in their field, even though they didn't go to Harvard. And so then one day Harvard's like, we would really like to claim you. Here's an honorary degree.
Yeah, I've had that thought, and also just this determination I have about this specific intersection of like, if you all don't know, there's a huge correlation between having like spiritual and metaphysical experiences and being autistic. And I can understand why, because autistic people have like really like hypersensitive experiences, like lots of sensory issues, as they say, sensory processing disorders even. And I experience all of that. And it's so cool to find out that so many autistic people also experience those things. And so I've like, that would be such a cool area to research and write about, because I've always wanted to just bring more, I don't know, like down to earth, this idea of being extrasensory, because everyone is extrasensory. Others know it though, and they experience it on a daily basis. So, but I began this process last year of starting the Archelaus Institute. And so what better place to do it than that? Like I can make my own home for that, and I've been reading tons of books lately, and so I'm obviously like showing myself I'm motivated for this right now. I'm inspired for this, so I don't need something else, and I can, the classes I'm inspired by and these programs, I can read those textbooks and I can reach out to those teachers. Like there's actually no barrier. So it's always cool to follow through on your intuition, because I had the intuition to look into these programs, to find them. I'm inspired by them. I'm seeing teachers doing research I would love to connect with. But that doesn't mean I have to sign up for that program, right? And so every step of the way, we can be in tune with our intuition. And if we get to a stopping point, we don't have to know why. Or if we are supposed to keep going in some different way, our intuition will tell us that too. So I just love how if you just stay connected, you're going to have all the answers, even if it's a little confusing along the way. Even if you're like, this isn't how I thought this was going to go. You'll get the answer if you just keep paying attention.
I'm really glad you said that about this isn't how I thought it was going to go, or like my intuition is not wrong, and every step of the way I need to stay connected. A friend and I were just talking about that, like when we have big dreams and we feel so good about it and it feels like it is inspired and it is right and we want it, and then we have a tendency maybe to be like, by Thursday or in a month or by the end of the year or whatever. And then we freak ourselves out about the timeline, but we forget about the pieces of that are available to us right this red hot minute. And so you sharing, like, I've always wanted to go to school for this and I want to research it and I want to write about it. Like, as you were saying that, I was thinking, what's stopping you from researching and writing about it right now? Like, it's available to you right this red hot minute. And doing what's in front of you right now from a connected place, right, leads you to where you want to go. That's a big lesson for me.
I think it's a big lesson for all of us, because we are shown a model in our lives by most people, right? There are always exceptions, which is what I've always clung to, of how to do certain things, and in my life, I realized from a really young age, like, I'm not doing it that way, like I'm dropping out of high school, and I tried to drop out of second grade. I'm I'm going to get married super young and get divorced, and I'm going to, I guess I thought about it after a little bit of clarity in my late 20s. Like, I'm going to learn all the lessons really early, like really, really early. I got into credit card debt and I was like, yeah, this is not cool. I don't like this. Like, being an employee and shutting off my personality. I've done all the things that aren't me. I've done all the things that, parents would warn you about. And, my 30s were really about like coming into my own, setting up my business, having abundance for the first time, like having friends, like real deep, amazing friendships, totally changed my life. And now I'm 41 today, and gosh darn it, life just keeps getting better and better. And except that I got a running injury because I'm old now. But hey, I have insurance now. I can go to the doctor. It's amazing. So yeah, like it's just we need to learn on our own time that there's really nothing in our way. No one person holds us back. No system holds us back. And there is a huge amount of privilege that I experience in this country. And so it's harder for a lot of people. A lot of people have it way, 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 way harder than me. And there are also people thriving in every community. And so, you know, people who have it harder than me do have role models. So there's just really us. Like, we get to choose, are we connected or are we not connected? And that's just brilliant.
It is. And I just want to acknowledge all the people who are here today. Like more new commenters than usual, and everyone saying happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And about you and being a dropout. What I think is so great is that when we think of a high school dropout, right, we don't think of someone who also wants an advanced degree. And and I love that you were like, I knew, right? I tried to drop out of second grade. Like you've said two things. Well, you said lots of things, but you said these two things. I always knew I wanted to have an advanced degree, and I knew school wasn't for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to that. And being undiagnosed with a disability was part of that. And also, environment's really important to me. And I'm sure it is to a lot of people. You know, I just didn't like having other people have a say over every single thing that I did, you know, like the reason that I almost dropped out of second grade or wanted to, tried to, is because up until that point, I'd been going to school with my friends in that class in kindergarten and first grade. And then in second grade, all of a sudden I was with totally new people. All my other friends were there, and I went with them to the first day. And then they told me I was in the wrong class. And so I had to switch. And it was just too much of a disturbance. It was like, well, why? You know, why can't I be in that class? Like, those are my people. And so, as a young person who always felt very much more connected to being non physical, autistic, PDA, like all these things came together. They gave me the experience of like, yeah, other people having a say over everything that I do is not cool with me. And that's exactly why I left high school too, is because I was clinically depressed, having huge issues, like couldn't be in a room full of people. And I found another way, like, oh, I could take these college courses online or do homeschool from, you know, online, have tutors, whatever, anything. I made a whole presentation, you know, me, very thorough, like gave it to my headmaster. I mean, I was an honors student. I enjoyed learning. And they were like, no. And so they didn't give me any choice. I was just like, all right, I'm not coming back. And I didn't. So I've just always been very aware of who I am and what I feel. And I haven't ever been able to ignore it, ever. It doesn't mean it's always worked out. Like I went through all kinds of bad decisions, but I landed here. So yeah, I'm a walking contradiction in so many ways, but that's what everyone is. We all are, because there's what's inside of us and what's true for us, and then there's also what we put stock in and what people tell us, and you know, the people we love are giving us advice, and we're wanting to take hold of that. So it takes a long time to like figure out, okay, well, I can love these people but not take their advice, and I can love myself and honor what I'm feeling.
I'm thinking about that and how that is bold, even though I mean, it's sad, right? That like honoring ourselves is bold. But
It
for
is though.
yeah, it's bold. Like I'm thinking about you said, I went to the headmaster, I made this presentation to them, which by the way, have you watched Gilmore Girls?
Not really. No.
Oh,
But just a
well,
little bit. I know what it is.
you're reminding me of Rory in a lot of ways. But
Well,
uh,
she's from Connecticut, so.
there you go. But regardless, like you're saying, I'm an honor student. This is what you said. They gave me no choice.
Mhm.
But like really, like yeah, they gave you a choice, like stay in school or don't, right? You recognize, okay, I am going to be bold here and I'm going to do things my way. It probably didn't feel like bold, right?
It felt like self-preservation. Yeah, there was no way I could keep going to school.
I'm guessing, did it feel disappointing?
No, I was very confident about it. I remember even I had one history teacher who I really connected with, and I'd never liked history before. He made it fun for the first time.
Right.
And he was really upset and really sad and really scared that I would never go to college, even though college isn't everything. Nobody, not everyone has to go to college.
But it was back then. Like I mean, it was like if you don't go to college, your life is not going to be good.
You're gonna work at a gas station. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. But anyway, he was very concerned, and I was like, don't worry about me. Like I was not worried about myself at all. I would have been more worried about myself if I made myself go to school, because I knew that that was the option of me giving up. Like I would give
Mm.
up on myself if I kept going to school, because I would literally die. So I had no qualms or regrets or worries about dropping out of high school,
All right.
even though everyone else did. Not one single person backed me up, but why would they?
Well, and that's the thing. That this is like a beautiful example of many of us who want unconventional careers or who are leaving our careers to follow our dreams and or our hearts or our higher selves, right? We're in this place where it's kind of the same. Like when you're a kid, right? School tells you what you need to do to get a good grade and good grades. If you get good grades in school, you'll get into a good school. And if you get into a good school, then you'll get a good life, right? You'll get a good job. And if you get a good job, you'll get a good life. Like that's sort of the thing. And so, those of us who are on this path that many of our viewers are on, we are being bold and we are faced with those same voices, the voices that were telling you, if you drop out of school, you're going to, right? You're going to wind up working at a gas station. Well, one, who cares if you love working at the gas station? But two, or not, right? Or you're going to go on to form the Archelaus Institute and who knows? But those are the same voices that we hear now, whether it is from the actual people in our life or just the voices in our head, right? The voices saying, I don't know, what if you do this and you fail, then they're all going to laugh at you. Or, nobody who ever did that became successful. Whatever it is, the story that we're telling ourselves, like it's the same. And I don't know if I want to say, I guess that's what I like about this time of year is those voices just get a little quieter for me. There's a little bit more something about, okay, for me, I don't know if this is everyone, but like when I do intuitive art, the color gray literally is like mental confusion, is like cloudy, confused. Gray feels like this. And when we come out of the gray season, which here, like winter is kind of gray, and we come into the like vibrant color season, I feel like the fog has lifted, the confusion is gone, everything gets a little easier. And that coincides with our birthdays, which is lovely. I don't know, is it true? Does anybody know? Like, are we as do we come more into our power like around our birthdays, or is it just us like recognizing it's another year? What do you know? I don't know.
I've heard that. But I think the reason Aries is the first sign in the zodiac is because it's, spring. And spring is also about renewal and coming out of the fog, and the days are longer. And like there's so much around this time, especially, but you are also more clear on your birthday, I believe.
All right. So we're in it. We're in Aries season. It's Rachel's birthday. My birthday is Tuesday. I think I'm 47. I know.
I think so.
I think I'm 47. I'm turning 47. But I guess the question is, and this is for you, Rachel, this is for me right now, and it is for all of you watching, right? Okay, we're in it. We're in Aries season. We're in this time of the fog being lifted and creativity and sort of this like permission isn't the right word, but there's an injection of energy into us living the life that we want to live, into us getting what we want. For me, springtime also means like planning vacations and do it like it's that time of year where like the kids are almost out and where I can kind of bask in what I want. And so that's the question, right? Is all right, what are we stepping boldly into, even if it doesn't feel bold? What is the thing that you want? What do you want? Didn't I just ask this question last week? I swear I did.
Yeah, and you know what? I am actually setting up a webinar for all of us, like a casual webinar, um, um, a mastermind. I don't know, whatever we want to call it, for this very reason. I'll email everybody probably tomorrow, next Monday, something like that. But I really love this time of year because like we can get current with ourselves, right? I wrote it down. Let me look and see what I wrote. Okay. Where are we, right? Getting current with yourself, identifying what you want, and then identifying your next action step. And we're going to use intuitive art to do it because that makes it so easy and clear. And we're going to do it together because it's more powerful when we do it together. I haven't even told Carrie about this yet. So
even if you tell me, I forget. So
just learning about it with all of you. So we're going to get together and do that because these questions are so accessible right now. And it's the perfect time of year to like have a game plan, a loose game plan, a connection point with your higher self.
oh, I love that. I want to tell you, I'm getting a yawn. Pause for the yawn. I want to tell you guys, I had a reading with Rachel, I don't know, a few days ago, and it totally helped me get that connection point. I get a reading with Rachel, like I feel like it's like once every year or so. I'll be like, it's time. Let's do that. So, and I know Rachel, you're probably putting a link in there right now. I see your eyes moving. But I wanted to share that with you guys because it was such, this is a great time of year to do that. Like it was so helpful to me in remembering what I want, remembering the path to it, and settling into the simplicity and the ease of that. It was really, really helpful. So if you guys are looking for that, and my reading had all kinds of springtime energy around it as well. So, but if you're looking into that, Rachel just put the link in the chat. It's just go to rachelarchelaus.com.
Oh, and speaking of spring energy, so there was a theme for Carrie's reading, and it has to
Share
do
whatever
with
you want.
being a flower. And you guys, I got this African violet maybe 7 months ago. And you know, when you buy them, they're fully in bloom, they're beautiful, but the growers do this on purpose to sell the plants. And I don't know how many of you have had African violets, but it's sort of challenging to get them to bloom again. And a couple weeks ago, I noticed these little buds starting to come up. And then I was like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. This is the first time I've ever gotten one to bloom again. And then it opened today on my birthday. And so I was like, oh, you are such a beautiful little creature. I just love how interactive our world is. I had I don't even remember what it was. Something was going on. Oh, when my old classmate won an Academy Award a couple of weeks ago, and then I saw her on a triathlon news show that I watch because I've been like super into triathlon lately. I'm like, my worlds are colliding. What is going on, Carrie? This is so weird and surreal. And she's like, you're living in a world of your own creation. Like, yeah, I really am. Like this, you just can't make this stuff up.
Well, that was such a good reminder for me because we all are.
Mhm.
We're all living in a world of our own creation, and that can be freaking painful when you look around and you're like, "I would not have created this."
Mhm.
Right? Like, "Why did I choose to create this?" But we are. Like, we're living in a world of our own creation, and those of us who are deliberate creators, I was just talking to someone about this. Like, I have a tendency to do this, is like get in my big dream and then look around at my current reality and be like, wait, no, no, no. Big dream, big dream, big dream, big dream. Like, like stay there. But what I recognize is like my belief is in the big dream, but my dominant vibration is not, right? And so
Mhm.
that's that's my work. And when I spend more time in a dominant vibration that gets a little closer to the dream and a little closer to the dream and feels a little better and seems like the dream, and what part of the dream could I like recognize is already in my life, and not from a place of like, I'm trying to think, like not from a begrudging place. Like if I have a dream of like, I don't know, sipping margaritas on my yacht, and I go to like the 99-cent store and buy the little paper umbrellas, like at least for me, that would not feel like living my dream. That would feel like that would feel like something else. Um, so not that, right? But like what bits and pieces are showing up? What things are here now? As we do that, the bits and pieces get bigger and bigger and bigger until you have that surreal moment where you're like me standing in front of the room being like, holy crap, this is my dream. Or you're like Rachel being like, holy crap, the bits and pieces are now like Oscar winners who are in my circle. And what, my Oscar winning friend is also my triathlon friend. Like that's what happens when we just allow ourselves to joyfully, little by little. As much as I wanted, like, I really want to go big or go home all the time.
Mhm.
But it's actually the little by little that makes the big moments happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. It's and sometimes it sucks to be aware of that because I brought up an old screenplay that, I mean, it's not that old. I haven't been writing that long screenplays, but anyway, a short that I wrote that I'm still working on producing, but I was like, are there any short screenplay competitions that I could enter, because I have this, it has wide appeal, um and it's got a great, like, you know, hook. Like what they're it's very commercial, which is sort of unlike the things I mostly do. And I looked and I found some, and to be aware of like, well, maybe this is what's going to launch my career. It's like, oh, I don't wish that wasn't in the back of my head sometimes, but it's just like, the medical, not the medical medium. I don't really like that guy. No offense. But who am I thinking of? Tyler.
Oh, yes. What's his name? I know who you're talking about. Somebody write it in the chat. Tyler, what's his face that has his Netflix special?
Yeah, that medium guy.
Henry. Tyler Henry?
Tyler Henry, the super famous medium guy. He got his break because he was at a party talking to a producer about being a medium, and then gave him a reading. He was a skeptic, gave him a reading a couple days later. And that's how he got a show. It's like, it wasn't the application. It wasn't the, it was just, that is so beautiful to me. And, that reminds me to relax. Relax, because that's my only job. My higher self has already concocted every single, scenario, every single manifestation. It's already there. All I got to do is relax and have fun. And that is honestly my biggest challenge, because I love, well, just like all of us, we have our own default vibration. We have our default complaints. We have our default things are hard. We have our default whatever, limiting beliefs. And to just relax and have fun is the path forward. If you ever wanted a shortcut, have more fun, relax. And so reminding myself of that is just super helpful.
You said something about this could be my big break, or this could be my big break. And I honestly had I think that is true for a lot of us, right? Like we just want the easy path. We want the big break. I want to be like discovered on a park bench, right? And isn't it fun to recognize that everything that you do could be your big break, right? Like
I know.
and anything could be
And
your big
that
break.
we've already had
So many.
countless big breaks.
But I think like we do this thing of like put pressure on ourselves, like enter this contest, it could be your big break, right? When reality, like maybe that's your big break, but like the big break is coming and it won't feel like a big break when it happens, by the way. You'll look back at it, you'll be interviewed someday and you'll be like, oh, that moment was life-changing, right? That was but you didn't know it in the moment. Like you're just doing what you're doing. I think it's fun to recognize like entering the contest could be my big break. Like that's kind of fun energy to go into the contest with. And also going to the grocery store this afternoon might be my big, I need bananas, could be my big break.
And Lady Gaga was discovered not singing at the clubs that she would sing at every week, but singing in a little shop in New York.
And yet singing in the clubs was probably really important to her being confident. Well, maybe not. I don't know her whole story, but like,
yeah,
it was part of her journey.
exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. And I do a lot of reading like memoirs of, notable people, and they feel the same way we feel right now. It's like you really just need to do what you love doing, because if you're waiting, you're spending your energy in the wrong time. We talked about that last week. Like waiting isn't necessarily what's going to get you anywhere, right? Just do what you want to do. That is the energy of attraction. And even while people's careers are happening, it's just one thing at a time, one step at a time, one yes at a time. Like no one ever really feels like, oh man, I really made it. Like there's always more. There's always more. And so I could point to a million things that have happened that have been my big break, and they're all true, but yet I'm still right here wanting more. And so I just think it's kind of fun to like know how things work and be like, is anything coming from that? And also like, yeah, it's all just happening.
I find a lot of comfort in knowing that it's all happening. It takes pressure off of me. And I am so guilty of piling the pressure right back on. So that's why these conversations are so helpful. Being surrounded by other people who live this way, to be like 1000% transparent, coaching other people through these processes is incredibly helpful for me, right? Because isn't it so easy? It's so easy to see the big picture when I'm not the center of it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, Gina Maria ran into a recruiter in her grocery store.
see, could
I had my clients find their clients in all kinds of places. I remember there's this one that always sticks with me because she got a client from going to the butcher. Like it's just so random. I love it so much. Yeah. So unfortunately, Gina Maria says she was hired and supposed to start working for FEMA in 424, and she's cringing. Well, hopefully maybe that's a good thing. Supreme Court refuses to reinstate WVA transgender ban. West Virginia. That's good. We don't want a transgender ban. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. I had a conversation with my mom the other day because I feel very close to transgender people. Like, I'm not trans, but I very well could honestly call myself trans if I wanted to. Always felt like my voice even moved. Always felt just both genders. Even, I mean, in high school, I used to talk about it all the time. Like, I wonder what it'd be like to have a beard. I did all kinds of things. My friends called me a man's man, and there was another one I forgot about. I told my coach yesterday about it. But anyway, I'd always had a lot of trans people in my life. And the way that they're being vilified right now and treated is really, really, really difficult for everyone, hopefully. For me, for them. And I really have to remind myself that, like, victimization, it's not real. It is, and it's not. And I'm not helping anyone by being dysregulated, by being disempowered. You know what I mean? And it's so easy for me to go there because there's a lot of kids involved in all of this. A lot of kids being told that they are so wrong that they need to be banned. They're so wrong that they cannot show up impersonating another gender, like what's going on in Tennessee. And yeah, frankly, I really don't know what to do about it except to be informed and to help where I can. But like, it's difficult. So for everybody out there, if you've ever, I mean, I don't think anyone coming to one of these live streams is misinformed about, transgenderism, but like, it is real. Kids know who they are, and it doesn't matter if there are sometimes people who transition and then detransition. We change our minds about things all the time, right? So I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I guess because of Gina Maria. You have a trans kid. Well, my love to you, my support to you, because I know that can be very difficult. Helping someone else who feels less than because of the world to feel good about themselves. Like, lots of love to you.
Well, I actually want to say something about this because I am someone who would say I wouldn't understand trans, right? Like I am someone who gender was never it's never been an issue for me. I'm very traditional in my even the gender roles inside of my marriage and all of it. And I am coming to this recognition, and I'm super open and kind of well, doesn't bother me, right? Like what does it matter? To me, it's not there how someone chooses to identify doesn't have any, it's not a threat to me. It doesn't have anything to do with me. So that's just sort of where I am on it. But I was having this realization, maybe because I'm turning 47. And I was talking with my daughter and I was saying something and I recognized oh gosh, I might sound like I don't get it, it was it's not that I don't get it. I don't have the vocabulary for it. And my daughter was just rolling her eyes at me and giving me the vocabulary. I think I said I might sound kind of bigoted when I say this or whatever, but, and it was because I didn't have the vocabulary to say what it is that I wanted to say. And I guess here is the thing. I have heard, and I have heard for a long time, since I think my son was born, that there's rainbow children and now there's this kind of children. There's all of the energy of the planet is changing and the people who are coming to the planet are changing. And so I'm having this recognition of oh, I for a while was feeling like I was on the leading edge and the energy that I was bringing to the planet was the new energy. And now I am fully aware of oh, the energy on the planet is changing. And like, I don't actually have to understand what it feels like to be trans, right? I just have to know more and more people are coming to the planet this way. And it's probably to evolve the planet, right? So I can be like crusty old cranky person who's like fighting the inevitable, or I can relax and just like joyfully notice my part in all of this. And that's an easier place to be, I think.
Yeah, I think it's coming up a lot more for me and making me feel a little bit unsure because I feel like I am supposed to, like, I feel my part coming to light. Like, I want to be an anchor of love and support and even, maybe some kind of like energetic explanation, like you're saying, for the youth right now who are feeling really oppressed. So I'm excited about that. I mean, I've always attracted a lot of people on the LGBTQ spectrum because I live there myself, and I love that. I just love that, like, my little corner of the world can be a haven for all kinds of people regardless of who they love or what they look like. And that's really important to me, and I love that I get to create a bigger version of that very soon.
Ding.
Yeah, ding.
Well, that's what I was going to say is like, it can, what I'm feeling from you is both, it's like the push and the pull. It's like we started this conversation with you saying like, I want to do something big and I thought it needed an advanced degree and I want to dive into these topics and I want to talk about these things. And then you're saying, I feel pulled in this direction and a little scared. Like, am I doing enough? And I want to be a beacon and a stand and like all of these things. And it's like, yeah. So just baby step it, right? Just do it.
I know. It's so funny though, because like there's also this Aries part of me, right? There's like, yes, now, I want it now. So I just have to always stay connected, and now is always a new thing anyway. But like you, like we just we feel the whole thing. Um, and that's wonderful. But
It's making me think of Louise Hay.
mm,
So, like her story, right? She was just on this like personal development journey, right? Like understanding that like our thoughts create. And that was like weird and powerful and revolutionary. And um, she had this belief that you could heal your body. And then she attracted like the whole gay community. Like it's not like AIDS happened. It was a disease that nobody knew how to cure, that everyone was afraid of. Like, and she was just as I am guessing she had decided she wanted to be a beacon of love and light in the world. I don't think she set out to like be an advocate for gay people. She just was love. She was hope. And those people who at that moment in time needed it the most found her. And I mean, I hope that's who all of us want to be, right? And our people will find us. So you're right now, you're saying, I've always attracted like a lot of these kind of people. And I'm thinking about like, I've always attracted a lot of these kind of people, right? It's because like that's who we are. So we don't have to, I guess what I'm getting at is we don't have to set out and to be like the end all be all for our people. Like we just go about being us. If you build it, they will come.
so true. Again, relax. It's all happening. Yeah. It's funny because like I keep forgetting about Archelaus, the Institute, and it just keeps coming back. And I've built more of it. I got more ideas. It's already there. It's like, yeah, I don't have to really do much except for do whatever I'm inspired to do, and everything builds itself, and the people find it. So, yeah, it's cool. I love it. I love it. We have such a cool setup here, don't we? Like, stay connected. Life's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And oh gosh, there's a lot of comments that I didn't get to.
I just realized it's 1:20. What?
I know. I know. Did we get to anything you thought we were going to talk about today?
Yeah, we started off there. First 5 minutes.
So we
But
did.
like it's an open thing today. So I just love that we all are so unique, right? And the way to create the life of your dreams is to stay connected to you and to allow yourself to experience the world in the way that you want to experience the world. That's it.
Allow yourself to experience the world in the way that you want to experience the world. So this, I was just talking with someone about a show that is on Netflix. And I was saying, like, I really want to have my family watch the show. It's about money. And money usually comes up for me around this time of year. Money's always like at the forefront for me.
It's tax time.
It is. I just wrote a big fat check for my taxes this morning. But it comes up for me this time of year because I think two reasons it comes up. One, I feel more abundant this time of year. Like even me writing that big fat check this morning, like that felt good. Like I feel something about the weather makes me feel like just more abundant. I'm grateful for where I live, like grateful for sunny days. It just feels more abundant this time of year. Now I forgot where I was going. Dang it. Okay, bring it back, Carrie. Bring it back.
Money show on Netflix.
Oh, thank you. Okay. But it's this great money show. I think it's called like How to Be Good with Money, or it's something like that. Get Good with Money. And I don't know why I wanted to watch it because that title is like not very enticing to me. It seems like it's telling me what to do. But my intuition was like, go ahead and watch this. So I did, and I loved it. And one of the experts had someone, they're like, they're trying to help people with their finances, and people are coming from all different walks of life. But one of the experts says, I want you to make your 4 categories. And it was like need. Normally the right financial experts are like, know the difference between your wants and needs and go for your needs and not for your wants. And this one said need, love, like, and want. And then she's like, you got to live your life in the needs and the loves. And I just thought that is so powerful. What so many of us tend to do is live our life in the needs and the likes, or the needs and the wants, because we don't want to go like to the bigness, right? We think we have to. Anyways, all that to be said is that was like, it just seemed to like it seemed to solidify everything that you and I talk about. Like, man, do what you want to do. Like, follow your intuition. Like, and I'm thinking about how many times, just from a purchasing standpoint, like there's something that I need and I love, but I'll buy the need and like because of a worthiness issue, right? Or like, I don't want to spend too much. And so it's so great to have like a financial expert, like someone teaching you to be responsible, be like, it's not responsible to live in just what you like and just what you want. Like, live in what you love, man. Like, it was so good to see that. So anyways, that's sort of my tying a bow around today. It is Aries season. It is springtime energy. It is like go boldly into the next step for you energy. And that little nugget that I got from that series just made me think about that in a big way. Like, do only what you love. Not what you want, not what you like, but like do only what you love.
Yeah. It will change everything.
And we are worthy.
Mm-hmm.
And we are the creators. Like, I was just talking to someone who was like, they had this dream and they were talking about it, and I was like, that's yours, like I don't ever have that, like that thing that you think would be amazing. Like, I've never once had that thought. Like, that is for you. And you all have we all have those. And sometimes we forget that, like, that's it. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, everyone, I'm a coach. Actually, I just had this month, I finished up with 2 people I've been working with for a long time, and it's such a beautiful experience. It is so beautiful to have these wrap up calls of like mutual appreciation and love and reviewing all the amazing things that happen for people when they're in that space of coaching. And so if you'd like that environment, you can work with me. You can work with me and Carrie. You can work with me and Carrie and Intimate Alien. Go check out rachelarchelaus.com and or reach out, send me an email if you're interested, and give yourself the gift of that. It's incredible. So yeah, I love you. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Carrie. We'll see you next week, and you'll be a year older, a year wiser. And thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for the birthday wishes. We love you.
And happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.